Welcome back to our channel, your ultimate source for the most explosive daytime drama update. Today is a phenomenal day to dive into the absolute chaos brewing in the halls of General Hospital. We are bringing you the hottest, most jaw-dropping spoilers that will leave you completely breathless. Let us jump straight into the madness. The ultimate betrayal has just been unleashed in Port Charles, and it is about to shatter the Ashford family into a million unfixable pieces. Curtis Ashford is standing on the precipice of total devastation. He is walking into a nightmare that he has already lived through, a nightmare engineered by the exact same woman who broke his heart decades ago. Portia Robinson has done the unthinkable. She has committed the ultimate sin against the man she claims to love, and the fallout is going to be nothing short of apocalyptic. Prepare yourselves for the most explosive hospital confrontation of the year. Picture the scene: the sterile, quiet hallways of General Hospital. Curtis Ashford is walking toward Portia's maternity room. His heart is full of hope. His mind is racing with dreams of the future. He has just survived a brutal car crash. He is facing a massive civil suit and a looming criminal trial for it. His entire world has been crumbling under the weight of Jen Sidwell's chaos and Isaiah Gannon's legal threats. But in this one fleeting moment, Curtis believes he has a lifeline. He believes he has a newborn son waiting for him behind that door. He believes this baby is his ultimate redemption, a chance to build the family he was robbed of when Trina was kept a secret. Curtis reaches for the door handle. He is ready to step into his new life as a father. But before he can push the door open, he freezes. The sound of voices bleeding through the crack in the door stops him dead in his tracks. He hears Portia weeping. He hears the unmistakable, arrogant voice of the man who has been trying to destroy him. Isaiah Gannon is inside that room. The man Curtis assaulted. The man who is currently suing him for everything he is worth. The man who was feeling Portia's stomach just weeks ago. Curtis stands paralyzed in the hallway, his hand hovering over the doorknob, as the most horrific truth imaginable spills out into the open. Portia is sobbing uncontrollably. The guilt is pouring out of her in a desperate, pathetic confession. Curtis listens in sheer horror as the woman he married admits the darkest, most twisted secret she has ever kept. Portia confesses that she lied about the date of conception. She manipulated the timeline. She orchestrated a massive, unforgivable deception to trick Curtis into believing the child was his. Why? Because she was terrified of losing him. She knew her marriage was hanging by a thread. She knew Curtis was slipping away from her. So, she used an innocent child as a trap to keep him anchored to her side. The absolute audacity of this lie is staggering. Curtis cannot breathe. The air is sucked out of his lungs as he stands in that hallway. He is listening to his wife admit that the baby boy he just held, the baby boy he just cried over, does not share his blood. The child is not an Ashford. The child is the biological son of his worst enemy. Portia Robinson has handed Curtis the ultimate gift, only to rip it away in the most agonizing, cruel way possible. She built a fantasy world for him, fully knowing it was a complete and utter fabrication designed to serve her own desperate needs. Then comes the final lethal blow. Isaiah's voice cuts through Portia's tears like a serrated knife. He is not backing down. He is not playing the victim anymore. Isaiah looks directly at the weeping mother of his child and lays down the ultimate. He claims his bloodline. Isaiah firmly and aggressively states that the baby is his son. He declares with absolute certainty that he will never, under any circumstances, allow Curtis Ashford to raise his child. Isaiah refuses to let his biological son carry the Ashford name or be raised by the man who violently assaulted him and permanently damaged his surgical hand. Isaiah is taking his child back. The smugness in Isaiah's voice is the spark that ignites the powder keg. Curtis is standing outside that door, absorbing every single agonizing word. His blood is boiling. His vision is going red. This is not just a betrayal of his marriage. This is a complete annihilation of his manhood, his legacy, and his future. Isaiah is not just suing Curtis for millions of dollars in a civil court. He is not just trying to send Curtis to Pentonville for criminal assault. Isaiah has successfully infiltrated Curtis's home, slept with his wife, and fathered the child that Curtis believed was his own flesh and blood. It is a total, humiliating defeat on every conceivable level. We have to talk about the psychological warfare Portia has unleashed on. Curtis Ashford is a man who values honesty above all else. He demands truth. He despises secrets. And yet, he has repeatedly tied his life to a woman who uses lies as her primary weapon. As Curtis stands in that hallway, the ghosts of the past come rushing back with terrifying clarity. This is the exact same playbook Portia used 20 years ago. She slept with Curtis. She got pregnant with Trina. She married Marcus Taggart. And she lied to Curtis for 2 entire decades about his own daughter. She robbed him of Trina's childhood. She robbed him of the chance to be a father. When the truth about Trina finally came out, it nearly destroyed Curtis. It nearly destroyed Trina. It nearly destroyed Marcus Taggart. Portia stood in front of her friends and family, weeping tears of regret, swearing she would never lie again. She promised Curtis that their marriage would be built on a foundation of absolute. She begged for his forgiveness. She manipulated her way back into his heart. And Curtis, against his better judgment, gave her a second chance. He believed she had changed. He believed the trauma of the Trina revelation had finally cured Portia of her toxic deception. He was wrong. He was so incredibly, devastatingly wrong. Portia Robinson has not changed. She is the exact same manipulative, self-serving liar she was 20 years ago. When faced with the prospect of losing Curtis, she immediately reverted to her darkest. She used another pregnancy. She used another baby. She crafted another massive lie to secure her man. The realization hits Curtis like a freight train. Portia did not learn a single lesson from the fallout with Trina. She just learned how to hide her tracks better. She viewed this newborn baby as nothing more than a pawn in her desperate game to keep the Ashford name. The devastation Curtis is experiencing this moment cannot be overstated. He is a man who just wanted a family. He just wanted a legacy. He wanted to make his father, Marshall, proud. He wanted his aunt, Stella, to see him happy. He wanted to build a dynasty of truth and love. But as he listens to Portia and Isaiah argue over the baby inside that hospital room, Curtis realizes the horrific truth. The family he thought he had was nothing but a castle. It was a beautiful illusion built entirely on Portia's lies. The foundation was rotten from the very beginning. Every kiss, every promise, every moment of joy over this pregnancy was completely tainted by Portia's. How does a man survive this kind of psychological torture? Curtis is already fighting for his freedom. He is already facing the terrifying prospect of going to prison. He just hired Martin Gray to defend him against Isaiah's relentless legal attacks. And now, he finds out that the man trying to lock him in a cage is the actual father of the baby he thought was him. It is a level of cruelty that defies logic. Isaiah holds all the cards. He has the lawsuit, he has the criminal charges, and now he has the child. Curtis is left with absolutely nothing but the ashes of a burned-down marriage. Think about the ripple effects this explosive secret will have across Port Charles. Think about Trina Robinson. Trina has already been through hell and back with her mother. She officially decided to distance herself from her parents' toxic drama to focus on her art and her music showcase with Gio Palmieri. She wanted peace. She wanted boundaries. But this revelation is going to drag Trina right back into the fiery pit of Portia's lies. How will Trina react when she finds out her mother did the exact same thing to Curtis a second time? How will Trina look at Portia knowing she used another innocent baby as a manipulative tool? Trina's relationship with her mother is going to be permanently, irreparably shattered. And what about Marshall Ashford? What about Aunt Stella? Stella Henry just warned Isaiah to stay away from the. She just told him to give Curtis and Portia space to bond with their newborn. Stella fought so hard to keep this family together. She championed Portia. She believed in their love story. When Stella finds out that Portia has been lying to Curtis's face for 9 months, the wrath of Aunt Stella will be biblical. The Ashford family is going to close ranks, and Portia Robinson is going to find herself completely isolated, despised, and cast out into the cold. She has destroyed the very family she was so desperate. The tension in that hospital hallway is thick enough to cut with a knife. Curtis is a man pushed to his absolute breaking point. He has a history of reacting with explosive anger when he is betrayed. We all saw what he did to Isaiah when he merely saw the man touching Portia's stomach. Curtis flew into a blind rage and destroyed Isaiah's surgical career with his bare hand. Now, Curtis is standing outside a door, listening to Isaiah claim his child. The urge to burst into that room and tear Isaiah limb from limb must be overwhelming. The urge to scream in Portia's face and demand answers must be consuming his every thought. But Curtis Ashford is also a man who has learned the hard way that violence only leads to destruction. If he attacks Isaiah now, he guarantees his own trip to Pentonville. He guarantees that he loses his freedom forever. Isaiah is baiting the trap. Isaiah wants Curtis to lose his mind. Isaiah wants to prove to the world that Curtis is an unstable, violent monster who deserves to be locked away. If Curtis walks through that door and throws a punch, Isaiah wins everything. He wins the lawsuit. He wins the criminal case. And he walks away with the baby and Portia. This is the ultimate test of Curtis Ashford's restraint. He is standing in the wreckage of his own life. The woman he loves is a pathological liar. The baby he held is not his son. His enemy is victorious. Every single thing Curtis valued has been stripped away in the span of a 3-minute overheard conversation. The sheer agony radiating from his soul is palpable. He is a broken man, staring at a closed door, realizing that everything he fought for was a complete and utter lie. The castle of sand has washed away, leaving nothing but cold, hard reality. The impending explosion is going to rock Port Charles to its very core. When Curtis finally confronts Portia, it will not be a quiet conversation. It will be a volcanic eruption of years of pent-up anger, betrayal, and heartbreak. He will demand to know how she could look him in the eye and lie about another child. He will demand to know how she could let him bond with a baby that wasn't his. He will strip away every single excuse Portia tries to offer. There is no coming back from that. There is no therapy that can fix a double paternity lie. The marriage of Curtis and Portia Ashford is officially dead, murdered by Portia's own desperate, toxic hand. And what happens to Isaiah? Isaiah is about to unleash holy hell on the hospital and the legal system. He is going to demand a DNA test. He is going to demand his parental rights. He is going to drag Portia and Curtis through the mud in open court. The civil suit was just the beginning. Now, it is a battle for blood. Isaiah is going to use this child as the ultimate weapon to destroy Curtis's reputation and ensure that the Ashford name is dragged through the dirt. The legal war between Martin Gray, Rick Lansing, and Alexis Davis is going to escalate into a bloodbath. The stage is set for the most dramatic, heartbreaking, and explosive confrontation in daytime television. Curtis Ashford is standing at the crossroads of his entire existence. Will he burst into that room and unleash his fury on Portia and Isaiah, risking his freedom and his future? Or will he walk away, letting the devastating truth simmer until he can plot the ultimate calculated revenge against the woman who destroyed his life twice? The clock is ticking, the truth is out, and the fallout will be legendary. Who will survive the absolute destruction of the Ashford?